Hello and welcome to the new session on SQL tutorials, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and have practiced the commands we learned in the last session. We will cover some new commands today and revisit some of the old ones also. But before we go ahead, I would like to thank you all for your time. I also would like to tell you about myself a little bit. I work in a company on a marketing technology domain. So I have been into this domain from the last 10 years. So in the last 10 years, I have realized how important SQL is if you have to establish a career in any IT field. Therefore, I have started this series so that more and more students learn this mandatory skill. I also request you to please subscribe my channel SQLbits because that will be the motivation for me to come up with more videos on new skills, which involves a lot of assignments. So last but not least, please comment below if you have any specific questions or if you want me to cover some different topics which is not planned. Yeah. Alright, so let me start with the new concept today which we have planned. This is a list of topics I will be covering in this session. This session will also be a very basic one. So the topics will be data type, create table. Create table we already did a little in the last session, but this will be a kind of refresher for you. So insert records, insert values into specified columns only. Fetch results from the specified column, multiple columns, all columns. Alter commands for adding column and dropping column, etc. Okay, so let's begin. So first step, data types. What is data type? It is a guideline for SQL to understand what type of data is expected inside of each column. And it also identifies how SQL will interact with the stored data. So this was a definition by Google. Let me explain you in an easy language. So when you create a table and define the columns with the column names, you also need to define the data types to be inserted in that column. For example, if in a database you have created a table employee and created a column named email address, varchar maybe. If by mistake you try to import some data in that table, maybe 10 records, and in one of those 10 records, the value of email is given as 123 integer. So that record will be rejected. It will not process that. It will reject this record and not process it, meaning whatever value of email for that record was, that will remain the same. There will not be any change, just because 123 is an integer. Another example we can maybe take is like if you have defined employee salary as a column with the data type as decimal, or not decimal, sorry, integer. And you are trying to put in the value maybe ABC, it will get rejected because of data type mismatch. Okay. Alright, so now how many different types of data types are there? I'll start with the numerical data type. So numerical data type is, they have different types inside it. First one is a big int. It has a really long range of values, ranging from -9223372036854775808 to plus of the same value. Integer is -2147483648 to 2147483647. Small integer is small int. The range is -32768 to +32767. Tiny int is 0 to 255. and decimal, which is also very important. Let's say if you have to put in the value of a column called sales or monthly sales, it will make more sense if you define the data type as decimal. Okay. Now, what is decimal? How will you define it? This is a little bit different. You can see S and D. I have mentioned S and D. S is the total size of the number. That means the total number of digits in the number, including the left and right of the decimal. And D is the number of digits after the decimal on the right hand side. Okay. So, for example, if you create a column called monthly sales, as I told you, you have defined it as a decimal, you also have to define the values of S and D. Okay. Next step is the character data type. Character data type has different types like char, varchar, and text, all with different range. If you compare char and varchar, it is always recommended to use varchar because varchar is dynamic. Meaning, I'll give you an example. Let's say you are defining email address as varchar 255. Okay, but in the records you are passing through the value of email, which is only using maybe 50 character length. Okay, so it will not use the rest of the 205 characters. Okay. So that space will be saved. So you can say it's a kind of more efficient way of using the space if you use the varchar. And next up is the date and date time. So I think you've already seen it. Date is DDMMYYYY. You can change the format also. Time is HHMMSS, that is hour, minutes, and seconds. Year is YYYY, and date time, which is very important, is DDMMYYYY, and then hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay. So next topic is creating a table. So the command for creating a table is create table and table name, and then in the parenthesis you need to define the column names along with the data types of each. Okay. Next, insert values. So the command to insert the values in a table is insert into table name, values, and then in parenthesis all the values. Value 1. Remember, if you are putting the values of text data type, you need to enclose it in the quotes. Okay. Also, when you are putting the values, you need to make sure that values are in the same sequence as the sequence of columns which are defined at the time of creating the table. Okay. Alright. Next one is inserting by both columns and values. So this would be, syntax would be insert into table name and column names. Let's say column 1, 2, 3, and then values, and then in parenthesis values, value 1, value 2, value 3, in the same sequence as the columns you have defined in the same command. Okay. Now you have inserted the records, you have inserted some data. How will you check it and verify it, whether it has been inserted or not? So this is where select command comes into the picture. So after you insert data, most probably you will use the select command to check and verify. So the syntax would be select column name from table name. Simple. Okay, if you have to select multiple columns, select column name 1, comma, column name 2 from table name. Okay, or if you have to select all the columns, command would be simple. It's select start from table name. Okay, let's come to alter commands. Okay, so alter commands are used to add or modify or delete columns in an existing table. Okay, so the syntax would be alter table name, add column name, and the data type. Okay, so this is where you are adding a new column in the table, and you have defined the data type of that column also. If you have to drop the data type, you can do that also. Alter table name, drop column, and then column name. This command is used not that commonly. It's pretty rare, but yes, you must know this command exists and also know the syntax. Alright guys, now it's time for everyone the hands-on practice. I have prepared a list of questions for this assignment section, which we will cover in the topics. In which we will cover the topics of today. Okay. Well, let's get started. I will share my screen then. Welcome back to the demo session, guys. I have created a list of topics along with the assignment questions that has to be covered in this demo. Let me show you the list. So this is a list of topics we'll be doing along with the questions. So let's get started. I'll first launch the SSMS tool, which is SQL Server Management Studio from here. Okay, I will click on connect to log in to my master database, and then I will click on the query buttons on the top, the new query button on the top to get the query editor. Notice on the top left hand side it says master database. Okay, so I hope you already know what to do in but even if you don't know, it's not a problem. We just need to use the use database command, the database which we have created last time. So the command ran successfully, and you see on the top left, it's changed to Battlefield. Okay, so I will mark it as session 2, and okay, yeah. So let me copy this first question and paste it in the query editor and comment this out. So the first question is about creating a table with the columns ID as integer, name as a text field, and the email as a text. The command is create table customers, and whenever you are creating a table, you have to create the columns also. I'll create ID integer, name variable character varchar, let's keep it 100 in length, and same as email varchar 100 in length. And now we just need to run the command. Execute. Okay, command ran successfully. So if you refresh the list of database and go to database, select the one which we have, Battlefield, select the tables, here it is, it shows customers table which we have just created. Okay, now let's move to the next question. We copy this, paste it here and comment this out. Okay, ready. So in this one, we have to insert a record into the customer table with the following values: ID equal to 1, name John, email this. Okay, command is insert into table name, that is customers, values, and then in bracket I'll keep it in the uppercase, values, So the value would be ID 1. And wherever you write and give the value, any value of varchar or text, it has to be encoded. You need to encode these values using the single quotes or the double quotes, doesn't matter. Okay, now run the command. Let's see if it works. Yes, it worked successfully. Refresh the database. Go to the columns. It shows the 3 column names. It will not show the value here, but there is another way to check it. I'll let you know. Okay, the next one is again inserting, I think, values of the specified column. Okay. In the previous case, we inserted the values in all the 3 columns. This one, we only select specific columns for which we need to enter the values. There is no difference in the command. You just have to mention the column names. We have not mentioned the column names in the previous one, but in this one, if you have to specify, you can do it. But make sure when you are putting the values, you put the values in the same sequence. So if it is ID first, it should be the values also should have ID as the first value. Okay, so the sequence is ID, name, email. Now I'm putting the values. I'll just put the ID 2, and the name is Jane, and the email is jane@example.com. I think ID should not be here because we are just showing you specific columns. If we keep ID, it will again be same as the above command. So you understood the concept, I think. I'll put the email address as a value and then encode both of them. Okay. Like this. So if the first column was name, in the values also the first value is name. Second was email, in the value also second was email. And I ran the command, it ran successfully. That means it got entered in the column. Table, sorry. Now, how would you check the values has been inserted or not? So the next command which is coming up is about the fetch results of the specific columns. How? So this is where the select command will be used, which is a very, very common command used in the SQL. So the syntax will be select column name 1, column name 2. Let me write select name, email from table name customers. That's it. We run the command, it will show you the values in the lower section. You see, name, there are 2 records. Email, there are 2 records which we entered in the previous steps. Okay, let's move to the next one. So fetch results from the multiple columns. This is quite similar to the previous one. So the command is select name of the columns. Let's put it ID, name and your email from customers. Exactly the same command as above. No difference. Okay, if you have to see all the columns, then the next command will be. Let me first paste the question here in the query editor, and then we'll show you how you will be able to see all the columns and the values. So select star will be the syntax from the select star from the table. So this will be a very common command you will be using whenever you are inserting the values in any database. Let's say if you are working somewhere I'm sure select star or select column name is one of the most common commands. Let me copy it here. Comment it out. Okay. So the syntax is select star and from customers. That's it. If you execute the command, we will be able to see all the records. Okay. Alright, so next one is the alter commands. Let me comment this out. So the question is add a new column named phone to the customers. So the syntax is alter table and then table name customers, add column or add phone. You don't need to write the word column here. You just write phone, the column name directly, and the data type. We'll keep it in variable character, maybe 50, 100. Okay. Run this command and column will be added to the table. If you want to verify it, just refresh it and go to the columns and you see the phone. Okay. Okay, so the next one is to drop the column. What we'll do is, let me just paste it here. Comment this out. Remove the column email from the customers table. Okay, so the command is alter table name. The other part is remains the same for all the alter commands. Drop, and now you have to use the word column. Drop column and then the column name. A slight difference in the syntax. Okay, so the email is removed from the customers table. It's not yet refreshed. If you refresh it, the email will be gone. Okay. So the email is gone. So that was it for today, guys. If you like this video, then please like and share. And if you want more such videos to come, then please subscribe to my channel SQLbits and please press the notification icon. Thank you so much for your time and see you in the next session. Bye-bye.